Hi guys, great to be here with you today. Today we're on our third hero of faith, remembering from Hebrews 11:1 that faith is having confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Our hero of faith today is Joseph. Now if you know anything about Joseph, then you know that his life wasn't easy. He was attacked, betrayed, forgotten, yet through it all he knew that God was with him and kept his faith in him. You can read about Joseph from Genesis 37 to 50. Yes, I know most of these heroes of faith do have a lot written about them, but that's just because a lot of things happen to them. Although not all our heroes of faith have so many chapters, but it's sometimes more about quality than it is about quantity. Joseph was one of 12 brothers. He was the second youngest, and between the 12 brothers, they all had the same dad, but they had 4 mums between them. So you can just imagine the Christmas parties, what they would have been like. Maybe that kind of family setup is completely alien to you, or maybe you are sat there knowing exactly what it would have been like. I don't know about how well you get along with your siblings. It wasn't until we were older that me and my sister started to get along. But however you are with your siblings, I hope you aren't as bad as Joseph's brothers. The first thing we hear about with Joseph in Genesis 37 is that he's telling his brothers that he had a dream that his brothers will bow before him at some point in their lives. Not only that he was also his father's favourite child. His dad Jacob gave him special presents as well. Now I understand what it is like having favourites in a family, and there's only 2 of us. So naturally the brothers wouldn't have been Joseph's biggest fans. And like I said, I hope you aren't as bad as they are, because they started talking together and they planned on killing Joseph. Thankfully one of them had a change of heart, and instead of killing him, they just sold him off to slavery instead. Much better, I suppose. And at the start, things started getting really bad for Joseph. And even though Joseph was a slave, God blessed him in everything he did. God was with him during those difficult times, and his slave owner saw that God had blessed him, so he gave him an important job. But then his owner's wife took a liking to him. But Joseph knew that was wrong, so he tried to get away, but the wife just lied and said Joseph had tried it on, which meant Joseph went into prison for a crime he didn't commit. But even though Joseph was in prison, it says in Genesis 39:21 that the Lord was with him and showed kindness and granted him favour with the prison guards. God didn't give up on Joseph. He was still there for him. We already know by this point that God had helped Joseph interpret dreams, and 2 other prisoners had dreams that they didn't understand, and Joseph asked God to help him show him what the meaning was. For one of them it wasn't so good news, but for the other he went back to working with the Pharaoh of Egypt. And it wasn't until the Pharaoh had a dream he remembered that Joseph would be able to help. Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dream with the help from God, and then after all Joseph had been through, after all the heartache and all the trouble, he was then placed in charge of the whole of Egypt, the greatest superpower of the day, only second to the Pharaoh himself. Joseph had a pretty turmoil life by this point, attacked, betrayed, forgotten, but the whole time God was with him. God never left his side. And he never left God's side, even when things were going really bad, even when he was being tempted, even when it felt like life and everyone was against him. He kept his faith in God, knowing that God was working for his good, and to keep your faith through that just takes some doing. And that is why he is a hero of faith. He may have gone through over 10 years of difficulties. His family turned on him, he got shown favour, but then it was stripped away by a lie someone told, and spent time helping people who just didn't help him back. But that did not matter. What mattered to Joseph was God and keeping close to him, knowing that people can let you down, but God never does. Knowing that God never let Joseph down, even though he went through all that, I think should encourage us to keep close to God and keep our faith in him, because in the end, when we look back, we realise how much God has done for us.